little bit more consecutive reps versus playing some special teams. I thought the tempo went well. I'm very, very happy that we didn't have anybody get hurt from that scrimmage. That's big, you know. Again, I was telling the coaches that you roll the ball out there on a Saturday and you never think about an injury. You practice that way during the week to be ready for it, but you never think, oh man, I hope nobody gets hurt. And then every scrimmage, that's all on your mind the whole time, you know. So I was very pleased with that. I liked the contact of it. I thought, we got ones, twos, threes, and then a combination of ones and twos, and then the threes again. And then we got the high red, the low red area. And then we thought it up third down in 2 minutes. So I don't know that there's any spectacular plays by per se either side of the ball. I thought it was a competitive scrimmage. I thought the twos did well offensively and defensively against the one. So we found out we've got some young kids that are lost a little bit assignment wise, but yet very physical and can run. So I was pleased with the way it went. We kicked the ball well. I think we were 7 of 8 out for field goals, and we didn't do them just consecutively. We brought them out there where it was one and done, you know, and I thought Bates kicked the ball well, and certainly Cam kicked the ball well. I think Bates was 4 for 4, and Cam was 3 for 4.
You made it, Chad.
Sorry. In the absence of any spectacular plays, I guess, were there any individuals that stood out to you?
You know, I really like the way that Drew Sanders played, and I think he's going to be a really good player for us. You know, we did get a concussion. Poor Paul ended up getting a concussion in the scrimmage. We're wearing those skull caps on everybody right now. Rocket only got 6 carries, you know. Bavinian continues to play well. He's a good football player. Warren Thompson caught a couple of hard passes. Thought our defense, our secondary played well. The guy, if I need to say something about another guy, it's Torian Carter. I think he's really playing well. Him and Isaiah Nichols are both really playing well this spring. I'm real proud of both those guys, and they played well in the scrimmage.
Otis.
Yeah, Coach. How did Cam Ball do? And also, you mentioned Drew Sanders, but how did the other transfers do Saturday?
Well, Nudi's starting for us there at corner, Dwight McLaughlin. You guys will know him as Nudie too, because I guess that's his name, you know, but he's played. Miles Slusher played well too, Trey. I forgot to talk about him, but he's played really well. But if you look at our transfers, Breeny's on the second team right now. He's doing well. He's going to turn it loose. He hasn't quite yet. Hazelwood got out of his green and played. Got that shoulder beat up just a little bit again. And then I'm trying to think of the other transfers. Cade Fortin, I thought he played really well. Fortin, I like him. You know, I've said it several times. I like the kid. I'm really happy that he came here. I do want to say we did not scrimmage Malik at wide receiver. And he had his best day as a quarterback too. I'm all over the place, by the way. I know that. But he did have his best day. I was really, really happy with Malik's performance. But we didn't play him at wideout, and simply because, you know, with him, and I thought Hazelwood would be in a green and KJ in a black and him in a black. I mean, it's not much of a scrimmage at that point when you have 3 guys that are going to have the ball and you can't hit any of them. So we just played Malik solely at quarterback for that scrimmage. But the other transfers, I'm trying to think who I missed. Do you have anybody in specific?
How did Cam Ball do, Coach?
Yeah, you know, I'm liking Cam a lot. You know, He plays extremely hard. He's a little more athletic than I thought he would be. Even last year, I think he's had a nice job. I think Coach Walker did a nice job with him in the weight room. But Cam Ball's going to be in that rotation. I mean, he's a good football player, especially once we get to working on the 4-down line and things of that nature. I think he'll get even more play at that point.
Thanks, man.
I think I can speak for all of us when I say we like it when you go all over the place because you're giving more details about the scrimmage. So thank you.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
We just got off the practice field, and we're talking about the scrimmage and then today and stuff, and my mind ain't as clear as it used to be.
No, we needed all those details. No, but it looks to me like when you're going 1v1s that the pass rush is getting in on KJ, and am I misreading? Does it look like the defense is just playing better right now?
Well, they did today. I'll say this: I thought the defense played really well today, and they certainly have played well all spring. I think it's a credit to our guys are bigger, they're stronger, and certainly we are getting closer to the quarterback than we have. And it's hard on a D line to rush the quarterback when you know you can't hit him when you get there. I mean, it really is. And they've done a really good job. And I think they really like their coach and they're stronger. I really think they're playing harder. They're really playing well with their hands. And yes, you're right. And, obviously every spring you bring a little bit more pressure than you do in the fall. I mean, you get beat, it's not really 7 points at that point in the spring. And we want, honestly, we want to know if we can man cover. If you really want to know the number one thing out of spring ball is on defense is can we find somebody to get to the passer, and can we cover if we go into our man or zero blitzes. And I think we're headed in the right direction on both those, Tom, to be honest with you.
Okay. And I did want to ask you about the 4-man front that you mentioned a minute ago. Are you going to start filtering more of that in?
Yeah, right now, what we don't want to do is we don't want to play one kid or two kids too much. And we're doing that a little bit up front on the offensive line because Wagner's back was hurt a little bit. Not bad, but I mean, enough where I said, hey, let's just shelve him. He's played a lot of ball here. Let's put him on the shelf for today. And we were already at 14, so now that put us to 13. I lost my train of thought. What were you talking about, Tom?
You're going to do more 4-man down.
Yeah. That's a little bit that way on the D line, because we don't have a tremendous amount of numbers. We got spoiled last year because we had 130 kids on the team in spring. And so we're a little down, but we have looked at a little bit more 4-down today. And I liked it. We went inside run, and I thought, the D line pretty much dominated us down there in that period. And that's not to say I'm not worried about our O-line. I don't want that to be a headline because we're going to be fine up there. We got guys that's proven they can play in this league. But I do think the D-line, for the first day, I was talking to Barry on the practice field, for the first day of those guys playing an assortment of fronts, whether it be 4, over, under, 3-man line. I thought they did a really good job with it. And I think the rise of Torian Carter, has allowed us to get in that 4-man front faster. I think him and Nichols right now are playing the best of those two of the entire defensive line.
Okay. And you think Trey Knox might be back sometime soon? What do you think?
I don't know. He banged his head, I guess, on a window or something whenever the car collision happened, and he's just not himself yet. And he's a tough kid, so I'm not questioning any of that. It's just, I just don't know when he'll be back, to be honest with you. I would hope by at least, I would hope Thursday where he could get acclimated, where it's a non-contact type deal. And maybe he could be back Saturday. If not, then Saturday, and hopefully he could be back for the Tuesday of next week where he could get the last 2 weeks.
Nate,
Yeah, Sam, about left tackle offense, just how are things going there with Luke Jones and others you've tried there?
I like Jones out there. Cody's such a fine coach that, Brady Latham can play about anything. Well, he can play every place we have. So he's had Jones out there. I think Luke's done a good job. He's got to work his backside cutoffs. He needs work there. Done a nice job in pass protection, I think. And then Manuel's behind him, and then of course Chambly. But we have moved Brady Latham out there. We've had Brady play, I believe, every position except, well, I think he's played them all. Just because of our numbers are down. But that tells you about how smart he is, but it also tells you he's an athletic guy. But those are the 4 guys that's played out there at left tackle so far, and I'm liking where Jones is going, and I think he'll only get better.
Thank you.
Christina.
Coach, I know we just spent a few minutes on pass rush stuff, but I did want to see what you thought of how they did in the scrimmage on Saturday.
Well, I thought we were pretty clean as far as offensive line of handling pass rush, but again, I think Barry wanted to see who could make plays without help. We've done so much stuff where we're in man coverage at practice, so I think he wanted to see a little bit more. And he ran quite a bit of man as well and brought linebackers and things of that nature. But I think coming out of the scrimmage, we're still going, who's going to be that pass rushing defensive end for us. And I think we have the guys that can do it, and they're getting better. But I don't remember. I tell you where they came on real strong, Christina, was in third down. So we had 8 reps of third down situations, and I think there were several sacks during that period. During the actual scrimmage, I don't believe there was too many, but there was a lot in third down, and a lot of that was bringing 5 guys.
Greg.
Coach, you've mentioned Dominion a couple of times now. I was wondering what it is about him, his running style and whatnot that jumps out to you.
I think it is his style, Trey. But he can cut on a dime now. I mean, just hard to tackle. He's very, very tough. He's slippery, slithery. I don't know the word. But when he makes a cut now, he makes a cut, and it's hard to touch him, let alone tackle him when he does that. And it's just what you saw on high school tape, that he can make you miss. And he did that 2 or 3 times a day at practice.
And you guys have had some recruits and stuff visiting you, but we talked about last week, the evaluation period starts on the 15th. You guys plan to get out on the 15th, or you plan to push it back a little bit? Obviously, you got some time till it ends on the 31st.
Well, we talked about it today. I talked about it with the recruiting staff, and I talked about it. I mean, we've talked about it before, but we kind of made a decision of what we're going to do today. I talked about it with the coaching staff. And, I've been on different staffs, Trey, that make the mad rush on the 15th to your in-state kids and things of that nature. But the problem with that is if you're going just to the in-state kids, you're not able to see as many coaches and as many players. And I want to try to find some walk-ons out of our state as well. So I think what we're going to do after spring ball, I think we'll wait, Trey, and then after spring ball, I think we're going to stay in a couple days to just kind of make sure that we're we have any problems out there, portal, all that kind of stuff, we want to make sure that the kids on our team are going to stay with us and talk to them and about the plans, how they did in the spring, have their exit meeting. And then by Thursday of that week after spring ball is over, then we're going to have all 10 of our coaches in the state of Arkansas Wednesday night, and then they'll be in the schools all day Thursday, all day Friday. And I figured if we have 10 coaches at 7 schools a day, we can hit 140 schools on Thursday and Friday of that week. And that's the plan as of right now.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach?
Hey, Coach, I know you had mentioned, I think before spring that Dominique might miss at least half of spring. Do you think he's going to be able to get back and do anything at practice?
No, I don't think Dominique he won't be ready to do anything until probably early summer, midsummer, before he can actually do cutting. And I mean, he'll be able to run straight ahead here. And I think he's doing a little bit of that in a jog, but no, he won't be able to do anything really in the spring ball.
With so many weapons in that running back room, is it almost like, obviously you don't want him to be hurt, but it's almost a blessing that you can get some of those other guys more reps because you know what Dominique can do? Well,
you play with who you have. I think it certainly helped the Binion, and I guess AJ for that matter. I really like Rocket. I like where he's at. I think he's turned into a running back. But make no mistake, I thought Dominic Johnson was as good a back as we had. And so we need to get him back. But I think you're looking at 4 guys now with the emergence of the Binion. And, when Dominique gets back. So we'll have to figure out how to get those carries, because I thought Dominic was pretty special as well as Rock.
I think we talked to you last week about Landon Jackson and what he could bring to y'all. Do you know what his timeline is and when he's gonna be able to do some stuff?
I think he can start getting into some of the jog throughs, some of the things that we do. We're trying to get him in some individual stuff, but that's probably about as far as we'll be able to go over the next 2.5 weeks.
Got it.
Hey, Coach, I was curious what your impressions have been of Drew Sanders and Bumper playing side by side, and what in particular has caught your eye about Drew this spring?
But he's instinctive. He can really run. I think he ran under 11 flat 100 meter at, whatever he is. He's big. But he's instinctive. He can run. He kind of fits us. He's tough. Really smart. I really like the kid. I like him a lot. I think he's going to be a really, really good player in this league. And I think Pooh Paul's done a nice job too. He got a concussion, but I really like Drew, and it's because of his athletic ability, and he wants to get to the ball. It reminds me a little bit of Bumper. I like those two guys playing side by side.
You mentioned a minute ago that Rocket is turning into a running back now. Like, what exactly do you mean by that? Like, how is he different maybe than the guy that we watched last fall?
Well, I think, we recruited him as a slot receiver because he played wide out in high school. And then he came here and we needed a running back. We had some injuries and he came in, and when I was walking from the stadium here with him, and I said, you've turned out now where you're making cuts and you're getting vertical and you're seeing things before it happens. Where last year I thought he just took the ball and he ran hard. And, he has some athletic ability to make you miss, has athletic ability to run over you. But what he says is he understands everything now. He's seeing things faster. And you can tell he's getting north and south so much faster than what he did last year. And he's not missing his read nearly like he did last year. And that was understandable because he, had never really played the position.
The last thing, just Torian and Isaiah, mentioned you like what those guys are doing this spring. Like what exactly has made you say that?
Both of them are playing harder than they've ever played. Both of them are much better playing on the offensive line side of the ball, and that's because of get off and hand placement. I think if Deke's done anything with these kids, and he's done a bunch, it's hand placement and knockback. And those guys are doing a really good job of that. They're not missing their hands, and they're getting their hands inside. And then to me, they're playing harder than they did before too. But a lot of times you play harder because you start faster, if that makes sense. You can play hard and it doesn't look like you play hard because you're trying to get back into position. You're playing hard, but you're trying to get back in. I'm out of position. I'm trying to get in position. It looks like you play harder when you're in position. You shuck a block, you shed a block, and you run to the ball and make a play. So I guess to answer your question, I think it's the start of the knockback and the hand placement that's made them better, and they're obviously stronger and bigger than they were last year.
Wrap us up, Tom.
Yeah, I was wondering what's on tap for Thursday and Saturday. You kind of go over the halfway point of spring this week and just kind of where you are and what's ahead.
Well, I think both of them, Tom, will be practices. I don't think this week that will back off. This week I think it'll be thud. We won't scrimmage on Saturday. We'll go at 9. We went 8 last week, but the grass was a little wet, so I wanted to push it back. I do want to give these kids an afternoon off. Plus, we have recruits here where we can work that as well in the afternoon. But I think it's just going to be a regular type format practice Thursday and then Saturday, but both shells. I don't think I'll go forward. It doesn't really make much difference because we're thudding so much better than we ever have. I mean, you guys have been to practice. It's a physical thud out there. And as long as I believe as long as you can thud, you can tackle. Because to thud, you have to bring your feet. And so I think that'll be that. But I will move on to the spring showcase or whatever we're calling it. I think both Thursdays before our last practice and before the showcase, we'll go in spiders. Normally I go 3 spiders in the spring, but I think we're going to go 4. Got a little bit older team. I am going to tackle to the ground again, at least with the 3s, and do a combo period where it would be some of the 2s and 3s. I am going to do that one more time at least. I'm not positive if I'll tackle to the ground the 1s again this spring, but I haven't decided that for sure. But just a regular practice this week. Then next week we'll have a spider practice on Thursday. We'll have a simulated scrimmage on Saturday the 16th, and then come back with a Tuesday spiders on a Thursday, and then we'll scrimmage again, probably with the younger guys on that Saturday.
You were vocal a couple of times at practice today. Was something going on that wasn't pleasing? I just didn't like our effort, and I didn't like our competitiveness on the offensive side of the ball. And I told them after practice, there's going to be series that you lose. There's going to be plays that you lose. But your mind has to get you out of, I've lost or I'm tired. Nobody cares. Nobody cares at that point. It's fix the problem. And the only way you can fix a problem is your mind's got to fire first, and then it tells your body to go, you can do this. But if your mind never fires, you can't ever fix a problem. And so we talked to them a little bit about, I thought we were not as tough mentally as what Arkansas Razorbacks should be.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you.